tuning into the destination for TV superfan discussion, AFTERBUZZ TV. And now, let the buzz begin.
Or just rocking out silently.
Yeah.
And I ruined it. Soiled it.
Because it's wonderful and I adore this song and cannot use it nearly enough.
Makes sense.
I can't headbang my headset to fall off.
Oh, you're fine. Don't worry, dear.
Yeah, all right, we have a full studio tonight, so let's get rolling. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the AFTERBUZZ TV Voltron After Show. We are looking at Season 4, Episodes 5 and 6, Begin the Blitz and the New Defender. We have all sorts of fun people in the studio tonight. It's going to be a blast. I have with me Blue Lion, Alexis Torres.
What up, everybody? You guys can find me all over social media at HTorres890.
Red Lion, Emma Fyffe.
Thank you. I'm so honored to be here as a special guest tonight. From the location where I am sitting, I'm clearly a guest on this after show.
We've been trying so hard to get you
I know, yeah.
it's
You know what? It's really, I'm really glad I was able to work this out with my schedule. Yeah.
Thank you for joining us.
Oh my gosh, you're so welcome. You guys can follow me on Twitter at Emma Fyffe.
Green Lion, Megan Salinas.
Hey guys, you can follow me on Twitter at @themenguin. That's TheMenguin, and I get to be like an airplane pilot. I was gonna say conductor, and I'm like, that's not right.
A really important second AD.
I just need a clipboard, and I can get in anywhere.
Regional humor. Yellow Lion, Mark Donica.
Hi, everybody. It's Mark Donica. You can find me on Twitter at #MarkDonica. #Leg Day.
Leg
Find me in the same room.
And I am Black Lion Katie Cullen. You can follow me all over the social medias at Kiaxet. That's Kiaxet. We have a hashtag ABTV Voltron. We have a live chat that nearly 100 of you are in right now. Hi, guys. If you have something fun to say, if you have art, if you have Photoshops, if you have questions for our lovely guests, throw them in the hashtag, throw them in the live chat. You may well get a shout out. And thank you for joining us tonight. We have the voice of Shiro, Josh Keaton.
What up?
How's it going?
And joining us for the first time, we have the voice of Elora, Kimberly Brooks.
Good to be here.
Welcome to the Madhouse.
Thank you so very much.
Thank you for joining us.
It's awesome to be here.
It's awesome to have you. So, should we swing right into this?
I mean,
then?
let's, but
I
can we get in?
word.
Can we
Let's swing.
ask a question real fast though? Because I
Do
feel
it.
like
Go,
we
fight,
have
win.
sort of
Oh,
the
no.
two spiritual leaders of Voltron here
Yes.
in the studio. So is there going to be like a massive power struggle throughout the course of the episode tonight?
Yes, it's going to be between me trying to keep this episode on the rails and all y'all.
Yeah.
She's right. She's right.
No, we'll keep it together.
Actually,
Okay, all right.
Actually, before we get started, we have a very special announcement.
I was going to do that at the middle of the show. Because that's where we usually put announcements in the middle of the show. But I'll do it
No,
now.
I just
Way to
said
build
everybody.
anticipation.
Why
I
not?
gave you a
All
lead
right.
in. You didn't tell me.
I did. It's okay. Hi, everybody. And it's Mark Donica here. Yellow Line. It's the headband. We got a special announcement from our friends at Loot Crate. For those of you who may not know, November's crate is Unite 2.0, with features an exclusive T-shirt designed by Drew Wise. He does amazing work. We're putting it up on the screen right now. It's 8-bit pixel art. It's got all of the lions and all 6 of the pilots, not just 5. Alora's on there too. It's an amazing design that you can only get in the Unite 2.0 crate. Now, I mean, if you're more than of a Voltron fan, which I don't know why you would be, but it also features Power Rangers, Justice League, and Overwatch. And here's where you can help us out. If you go to lootcrate.cr/AfterBuzz, you'll get 10% off of your subscription. And also at checkout, use the code AFTERBUZZ. There's 2 ways to do it. To get 10% off of your subscription. So you can do that up until November 19th at 9 p.m. I'm sorry, I gave the wrong link. Loot.cr/AfterBuzz. That'll take you right to it. Use the code AfterBuzz. But yeah, we got this exclusive look. This is the first look at this t-shirt. Instead of waiting for the crate, you get it here. That's why you tune in to ABTV Voltron.
Look at
So,
that.
I need this in my life.
I know, it's a really dope shirt.
Yeah.
I'm working on it.
Dope.
I know.
I'm working on it.
Okay, great.
Yeah, I made
Can
the
I
shirt.
also get one of those shirts? And can I get 15% off because I am a special guest?
Yes, y'all have to pay full price, but you get to
Use the code Emma is special.
And we'll show it again for some of the late comers at the end of the day. But
Yeah.
but yeah, that's flipping cool.
That
Nice.
is really
I know.
Yeah.
I
Thanks again,
also,
Luke.
I also, before we dive into things, want to give a shout out to Princess
Yes,
Ponies 8
yes,
Yes.
on Twitter, who recreated the photo that we took with Neil Kaplan and AJ Locasio on the last episode, wherein AJ jumped into Neil's arms. Neil picked him up.
I'm sure Neil picked him up.
I'm really unclear how that went down.
Neil.
Yeah.
But they not only did they draw the two of them as Zarkon and Lotor respectively, but we also got drawn in there as the Paladins, and the artwork of Lance imitating what I was doing is just pure perfection.
Wow.
The cute little foot pop
I
is
know.
just amazing.
So good.
I just request to have an Elora picture for me.
Yeah.
We welcome any and all art, and again, you can throw that in the hashtag ABTV Voltron. We are keeping an eye on that. Seriously, you guys are wonderful. So let's get this show on the road. We have what really feels like a season finale. I feel like when we have a Shiro narrating a plan in voiceover over a short montage, that's a season finale of Voltron. That's what makes it.
I agree.
Yep. Do you like doing that? Is that?
No, I don't mind doing it. I think it's a nice way to set it up. You know,
You don't end up having to do too many science-y terms during the show.
Luckily, I don't.
Yeah.
The heavy lifting usually goes to Reese.
Yeah, that's very true. I was gonna say, but Kimberly, you get
I
a
get
fair
a few
amount.
of those.
Do you ever because we were talking with Lauren and Joaquim about how the science in Voltron, it all is fake science.
Yeah, it's all made up.
Do you ever find yourself though getting really married to the words that are on the page and struggling with the fake science?
Struggling, yes. Married to, no. I don't even know what I'm saying half the time.
Well, because what they were saying was that Reese gets really anal about making sure it's exactly right.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And he's hilarious doing that too.
Well, he's kind of he kind of makes it canon. They put it on the page,
Yeah.
and then he's the one who figures out what the pronunciation is going to be.
Completely. They leave it up to him, and I think they try to challenge him with that.
So for some of the tougher ones, they don't phonetically put how you pronounce it. They just kind of leave it up to you guys.
Go.
Sometimes I'll ask.
Figure it out.
Yeah.
This
You're
is
on
the
your
Planet
own.
Dibazol. It literally has 4 A's in the name. It has more A's than syllables. Go.
Yeah, there's a lot of that. I think at first they did it and it was kind of accidental and it was hilarious, and then they started doing it more on purpose, just making it unpronounceable things.
Yeah. I definitely had to ask how to pronounce Noxella.
Oh, yeah.
It could be
yeah.
Noxella or
And in that scene, I say it too,
or
and I think I listened to how you said it.
Yeah. There's a lot of stuff like that where one of us will have to kind of say no, they wanted it this way, and then everybody else.
I still can't get what's it? Ornerva? I can't.
Unnerva.
Yeah.
Like she's unnerving.
She's
She's
unnerving.
unnerving.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly. It works. It's good. I'm gonna remember that.
And she is unnerving because a planet-sized bomb is not what I was expecting the season finale to be, but
I
dear
know.
God.
Yeah.
hardcore.
Hexamite.
I mean, it was a nice little cap on a I hate to bring it up, but very Star Warsy sort of season.
Oh,
You know what I
yeah.
mean? This whole season was about forming the Rebel Alliance, but it was a Voltron Coalition. I like it.
Yeah.
I'm so ridiculously happy because I've been asking for this from season 1. I want all the little characters that we've met along the way. I want them to join the Alliance. I don't want to see them again. Boom, 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 boom. Just ticking off all the check marks.
Norman
Yeah.
Reedus came back.
I know.
I know.
Beezer.
All those guys.
And
all of them.
it's good to see them again because they'll survive because they have names. We killed off Slippy because he doesn't matter.
Oh, you think that they'll
And the
survive?
froggy guy.
Yeah,
We did
exactly.
a barrel roll
the
and it didn't
froggy
work.
guy.
Yeah.
The frog guy died. I felt so bad.
I know.
Yeah.
But he didn't have a name, so he didn't matter.
But he said ribbit,
He
so
said
he
ribbit.
did that.
No, but he croaked. That was a Josh King joke.
It was. I'm so proud. I'm so proud.
As the local punster, you're welcome back anytime.
Thank you. I've earned it now.
Yes.
Leaving this couch. I know, right? It is way easier for either of you guys to storm out now.
I mean, that's true.
That is true.
I'm
Very
no
dramatic.
longer like.
It's a lot more
my head's
dramatic because you just throw off the accent. You know.
Yeah, it's just
Stop
throw him
short
down
because
on the
the
ground.
cord isn't long enough.
Yeah, if I try to chuck it, it's gonna just come right back at me.
Yeah.
That's not a good idea.
It might
yo-yo
backfire on you.
headset.
Yeah, it's
I think probably something that I really enjoyed about this finale was at the very beginning of the show. We were talking about the very beginning of the series. We talked about how great the animation was in terms of scale, in terms of showing just how big Voltron actually was.
Oh yeah, there was a lot of that.
And we get a lot of that in
Yeah.
this finale, where not only do you see Voltron in relation to the guards that are just kind of hanging around on the planet, but then you get to see these things that control the gravity and how massive they are compared to how big Voltron is.
Right.
It was insane.
Yeah.
This was an incredible episode for scale. And we have little comedic bits through it, which you need to keep yourself from having having a heart attack and dying during this. I think someone commented that watching the season finale took 10 years off their life. Well, you're not wrong.
I was so worried for the Rebel Alliance or the Voltron.
Yeah.
See, I did it.
Well,
was
but they
so-
were calling themselves Rebel Fleet.
I
Yeah,
know,
okay, so
right.
there we go.
It
The
is.
Rebel
Yeah.
Coalition, Voltron Force. I was so scared for the Rebel puppy.
Oh, I
She
know.
was gonna die.
I know.
She came
so
out of
cute.
nowhere, and then I loved her. Leah, I believe it was.
Yeah, she did come out of nowhere. Even I was like, where?
Like, we missed her introduction, but dang.
Yeah, I know.
Lauren was
She's rocking
saying when we had them on that she was really hoping that she would get more development and just there was no time for it.
It
But
was-
we fell in love with her anyway.
I
Yeah, she's
know.
great.
She's awesome. And I was gonna say Bebo B. That was another Star
There
Wars.
was another episode.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was another Star Wars. The Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Help me, Bebo B.
Yeah, I just was like, oh, I had a moment of like, oh my god. Yeah, that was good times.
That whole episode was just crying with laughter for me, so that was just cherry on the top.
I know, it really was. It was great. It was a good homage.
Are we going to be jumping around? Or are we going to start on 5 and 6 and then do the jumping around thing?
I kind of just have it by sections. I have
Yeah.
Noxella as one and the Murder Ranch as the other.
No, but I mean like
Every
episodes.
time we talk about the Galra, it's the dumpster fire or the Murder Ranch.
Nice.
But I mean like
love
1
it.
through 4. Like we're going to talk about 1 through 4 after.
I feel like we should. I mean, it's fair game at this point.
Everything
Okay.
is fair game.
It's all
at this
connected. It's
point.
all connected.
So-
You're expecting this show to be on-
This is
You're
all
expecting to be
spoilers.
the show on some
Yeah.
form
All
of
spoilers.
rails, and it's not?
Yeah.
Hashtag no
Off the
rails.
rails.
So you
What
became
rails?
Keith.
Basically.
Do you? I wanted to ask personally, as an actor, do you see yourself more as Elora or more as Keith? Do you find yourself more in common with one another?
Oh, wow.
That is a good question.
Just me, Kimberly?
Yeah, Kimberly.
Yeah,
Kimberly.
Yeah.
Alora.
Yeah.
Boring, but yeah, true.
That's not
No, it's
boring.
not boring.
So
You were a magical space princess.
Oh,
How is
exactly.
that
Come
boring?
on.
And on top of that, I mean, I think Elora is one of the characters for me who's had sort of the most consistent character development across
Yeah.
the whole series.
I feel really lucky about that.
Yeah, she always gets her time in the spotlight, and I really enjoyed in this season the fact that she's going from being sort of in a leadership position, not being part of Voltron, to now
Yes.
being part of Voltron and kind of struggling to figure out exactly where she fits in.
Right, but she still gets her say in
Oh,
a little bit.
totally. But
I think.
I liked her like crisis that she had this season and how it was Lance who talked her through it.
I know.
Yeah.
Where did that come from?
He had a
It's
lot
like,
of little
what?
moments of
He
stepping up
did.
and really having the wisdom in there. Like he was the
Yeah.
one that told everybody, we should probably get out of here.
Yeah.
And Cheryl's like, no, we should see what these things
Yeah,
are.
let's see what these
I mean,
things are.
they did need to know what the things were because a
True.
very large bomb like that you do need to know about. But yeah, let's stick around and find out. That's horror movies.
Yeah,
Zero.
exactly.
Don't.
let's split up.
Let's go.
However, if they had gotten away, then they wouldn't have disarmed it, and then everything.
And then
Yeah.
everyone would be dead. Yeah.
Yeah, it had to happen that way.
Like
And
it had to
thanks
happen,
Lance.
but it was also still like, oh, you just went up the stairs.
Yeah.
You should be running up the
Yes, you should go the other direction.
But we gotta get to the murder ranch.
The murder ranch is Lotor. He brings the murder ranch to you.
Oh God, that Lotor.
Oh my
Was
god.
it, was it in these episodes that he like dislocated
Yes.
his arm?
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
cool.
Oh,
Because
that
he-
was.
he-
Oh my
I
God.
used to be able to do that.
Serious?
Yeah, I didn't go like
Please
straight
don't
over
try
like
it.
that.
I was gonna
I would
say,
grab
please
this
don't
way,
show
and then I
us.
would have this one go over, and then I'd be able to. I can't do it anymore, but I used to be able to do that.
See, again, I can go underneath my legs. I can't go over.
No.
That's just not how my body works.
I was afraid you were going to demonstrate for us, and we'd have to cut that
'cause
show
actually,
real short.
I tore my rotator cuff.
Ouch.
Not
Doing
doing that.
that?
Not doing that. But
Not
ever
escaping.
since it healed, I haven't
Houdini
been able
style?
to do it again.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
how
I did
Josh
not see
died.
that coming from Lotor. Like, why is he double jointed or whatever that is? How did he?
I don't think he was.
I think
that
he like yeah, he dislocated his
Probably,
shoulder.
yeah.
Just oh my God.
Well, when you dislocate your shoulder, you have about an hour to pop it back in before things lock up. And also Galra biology, we just don't
Yeah,
know.
we don't
So-
And
Maybe he just
Lotor-
morphed that part of his anatomy.
yeah.
Yeah.
Put it all the focus
He is
there.
part
Yeah.
Altean, and we know that
and
they can
Alteans
change.
can change.
their
Yeah.
form.
That's true.
That's true.
So that was some like
Sound
animal
design any
style.
less-
But
Everything
his,
is
his
lawful.
generals obviously didn't know that because they would have restrained him differently.
Oh, yeah.
probably.
Yeah.
Or can he even be restrained?
I don't know.
Can't be contained.
Could not restrain a Lotor.
One of his generals girls did it on purpose, knowing he would escape.
Aksha.
Wild speculation.
I feel like Aksha is very much smart enough to play both ends against the middle.
Oh, for sure.
Oh,
And
she
she's also
for
the
sure
one that said,
is.
we have one more card to play. They're going to hand the ship over.
Oh yeah.
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 Yeah. Okay.
Then we get like a sweet Dinozord connection of Voltron.
know.
And,
I kept looking at the ships and going, that one's legs and that one's
thank
arms.
you.
They just have to build a head.
I know. Definitely.
And then Lotor's just kicking around in the little leg ship.
canning to his heart's content.
Yeah. Like a little paddle boat.
Let's fly real close to the sun here. And like that entire chase
That
scene
was ballsy, man.
that
Yeah,
was-
that was super
Yep.
ballsy.
Yeah.
Somebody in chat wanted to know, because we were talking about farms. Do you think Elora ever went back to have another milkshake?
I think she was traumatized. I
Yeah.
mean, I think severely traumatized because obviously.
Yeah, how can you not? Wait, that came from another thing? No.
Yeah. And how does Lance know how to milk a cow?
That was
That
a very
was
good
what we were
question.
wondering.
About that because
See?
he has a big family, so he probably has a farm on Earth somewhere.
Yeah, I mean,
Well,
if,
and I think
if he's Cuban, he's either in Cuba or he's maybe in Miami or
Yeah.
somewhere
Yeah,
in Florida,
okay,
and there's tons
okay.
of farms there.
Yeah.
Okay.
My wife's Cuban, grew up on a farm.
Yeah.
Well, and I mean,
She
theoretically,
knows
we all know how to milk a
does.
cow. It's
Yeah.
just in practice.
Yeah,
But
no,
that was-
Lance
Yeah.
So-
knew how to milk a cow
Yeah,
for
that's
real.
true.
for real.
That's true.
And even if you know,
Your sleeves back like
Well-
a surgeon. He was ready to go.
Well,
yeah.
he might have learned from milking Coltonecker the first time. We don't know.
Yeah, I have no idea.
They've had
Maybe.
Coltonecker
I want
for
to
a
see that
while.
scene.
Yeah.
I feel
I know.
like the scene where he learns how to milk a cow.
Yeah,
Very
exactly.
cultivated.
Well, I mean,
It's like they draw straws. Who's gonna do it? Lance, you have to do it.
I was
No,
going to
I
say,
think-
speaking of flashbacks, we have a good question in the hashtag, which comes from Ace Trainer 44. Does anyone
Yeah.
else want a flashback episode of Matt, Aaliyah, and Ozar with some of their rebel escapades?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
I want to see how Matt escaped.
I
I
know.
see that. Yeah.
I love
'Cause he's a
Ozar
badass
so
now.
much.
Yeah, he's a
Yeah.
total
I agree.
badass.
Well, not only,
I adore Ozar. I want more of him.
Yeah.
He had 35 seconds of screen time, and I was just like, yes.
We talked about it quite a bit when Matt was reintroduced into the show, but like I love getting to see just how seamlessly he works as a part of the team.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Particularly with his sister and with Hunk. Like just let them do all the planning from now on, guys.
Yeah.
they will techno babble their way out of anything.
It's
That's
nerd
really
power.
cool. Yeah.
Nerd power for the win.
So did Matt and Pidge get along like before all this happened?
Looked like
Just
it,
as
yeah.
Yeah,
siblings?
it seems like
Yeah.
they do.
like,
Like they
yeah.
so they got a good
They were
foundation.
pretty close.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that
Nice
helps.
relationship.
Yeah. Well, yeah. So even regardless, the fact that they've been apart for so long and with such dire circumstances,
Right.
I figure, and please excuse my term for this, but the honeymoon might end sooner than later, and they might go back to bickering siblings,
Oh.
which I also really want to see.
Yeah, I kind of want to see that.
Yeah.
Too.
I feel like you'd be hard pressed to find people who bicker harder than Lance and Keith.
Yeah, that's true.
Let's
Challenge
be completely
accepted.
like, okay, yeah, fine.
Although Lance is growing up. I mean, he's showing
Yes.
that he's not
Yeah.
quite as.
Yeah.
I mean, we were talking about it, but like everybody sort of had a little bit of a crisis of faith this season in terms of figuring out what their role on the team was since the dynamic had shifted so
Yeah.
much
Yeah.
and then abruptly shifted back.
Right.
And out of all the people, it's the person who volunteered to remove himself from the equation first that ends up being the emotional foundation for a lot of them being able to stick together.
Right.
Well,
Wait,
and we
has
had
Hunk
this.
actually gone through that yet, though?
What's that?
We haven't gone through one.
We
with
haven't
Hunk,
had
right?
a lot for Hunk.
No.
Yeah.
Well,
Let's be
Lance was
real.
the first person to be like,
I was gonna
I'll
say-
step down.
yeah, but Hunk
Yeah.
is also. I feel like also with Hunk, like he was weirdly like the most sort of balanced of any
Yeah,
of them
that's
going
very
into
true.
it. I mean, obviously, they all had their struggles when it was like, okay, cool, you were cadets at an academy, and now you guys got to save the
Yeah.
universe.
Yeah.
And go.
Yeah.
But he's static, but it's a good kind of
It's a good,
static.
it is. It's a good kind of static, and he has those nice moments in every season where we're reminded, like, oh yeah, Hunk is actually extremely intelligent and
Yeah.
extremely resourceful.
I love when they play that. I like watching the smart people go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just fun to watch.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I want to say, yeah, it was in the end of the last season where like Hunk and Pidge have this really sciencey conversation, and Lance just looks over at Keith and is like, I don't know anything.
they're
I, don't know.
I never understood.
Totally.
No idea.
They're
Well,
doing
and-
the nerd thing again.
Yeah.
I just really like that Hunk, even though sure he might be in the background a little bit. I like that he probably just saw the kitchen, was like, "I'm good. We're all good here.
Yeah.
I know where I'm
Yeah.
supposed to."
We
be."
have
But-
fresh milk. I'm set.
Yeah,
Yes.
but like at the same time, like knowing that he's there to help Pidge and the team. But I love the fact that he's not just like the, as Katie always says, every show, like he's the dumb guy. you
No,
know, in the
he's
background.
definitely
He's not
not.
an oaf. Like he knows exactly what he wants, and they're like, okay, he's good. We'll just
The
handle
opposite
emotional
of how he's
teenagers.
portrayed in the Voltron show.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah, I like
Relevant to the topic, we had somebody tweeted us using the hashtag just a girl on Twitter wrote basically did Photoshop over Avatar: The Last Airbender scene where I'm going with Shiro. What? Everyone else went on a life-changing field trip with Shiro.
That's so
Photoshopped
perfect.
everyone's faces over their characters.
Wow.
I
You're
have
not
faith.
wrong.
Yeah, he's gonna have a life-changing field trip at some point.
That's not
Faux
Well,
show.
Hunk is going to go on a life-changing field trip with Shiro, and Shiro's going to have the life-changing experience.
Well, but you know, it'll kind of change Hunk's
but
life too.
with Shiro.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
We're still on the train.
Yeah, we're
I'm
still
not-
on this?
I'm never
We
gonna let
are.
this go.
We're not going to leave the clone train until we get it one way or another. Let's be completely
Alright.
real.
Yup.
Is that going to be answered?
I don't know.
That's one of those
I know
questions where
nothing.
the best answer you can get is, because even if people do know, they can't say anything.
Yeah.
So-
Multiverse. There's a universe where it's true.
There's
So-
a universe where
True.
literally everyone is a clone of Shiro.
I know.
So I'll ask it like this: do you look forward to doing a scene with yourself?
already do that?
No, bring it Sven.
No. Oh, okay.
Spin. Yes,
Shiro
that's
wasn't
true.
back at that point.
Yeah, no.
Oh, yeah.
I would love to do a scene. A Shiro with Shiro scene, or a Shiro with Sven scene.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
that would be the best.
Yeah.
Well, you
They
both
got to bring Sven back.
It's like looking at an oddly Slavic mirror.
both of you guys do a lot of side character voices. Do you have a particular favorite side character that you guys have done?
Well, I didn't realize that I did. I didn't real. I don't know. Just like that. The
You were the
puppy.
Ulu.
Yeah, the
Ulu
computer-
shop girl.
Oh,
as
the
well.
Uli shop girl, but the computer voice. What's the? I don't even know the character. In
Computer voice.
the robot, the AI
Oh,
that's sitting in the cockpit, and I guess it was episode 5.
I don't remember.
Oh,
But
yeah.
No, I think
okay.
most of the AI stuff. is
Yeah,
in-
that was good.
Yeah.
Sorry, I don't even know the character. But yeah,
I think
yeah,
I
we
was
did some of
computer
those, and then
ones?
you've done who?
I think I was Regress, the Marmora guy that,
Oh,
that
yeah.
dies.
Yeah.
I was him.
Which one?
Come on, Katie.
The one with
Tell
the
me
mask.
I'm
and
wrong.
the
Yeah,
No,
the one
you're
with the
not.
mask and the tail.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Oh, yeah,
that's
that
sad.
one. Cool, cool.
Keith was nearly the Marmora guy who dies
I
this
know.
season,
The
all
one
right?
that died this season, not
Yes,
last
the one who
season.
died this season.
That was almost
This
Keith.
death, this season's death.
Speaking of, like, for a hot second, I thought they were gonna do it. I thought they were gonna
made
kill him.
this is the season where they've set it up. We killed Regress in the first episode. We had a fake out with Matt. They basically set up, look, people die all the time. This
Yeah.
is war.
Yeah.
So when we get to this
Frog
point,
died,
Yep.
like 2
the
minutes
frog
after.
died.
Stop.
I think if they cut right after, like when Keith is like bearing down to hit, and then
End of
They
season.
cut.
just goes to black.
Oh.
I think people would have died.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it
Like,
would be
legit
like.
died.
Yeah, it's true. That would have been too
Well,
much.
because I
Way
mean,
too much.
And I talked about this
Would've been awesome.
when we talked about the first 2 episodes that I did not get spoiled for episode 2, so I legit thought Matt was dead. So I was like just sobbing watching the episode,
Oh.
and even with that fake out, still in the last episode this season, I was like, oh, are they really gonna kill off Keith?
Oh, Bex
I
was
thought for sure they would.
amazing.
Yeah.
Like, I knew everything that was going to happen, and I still cried.
Yeah.
I still, even thinking about the scene now, and thinking about when like she screams her no, like I get emotional just thinking about
Yep.
it. She did such an amazing performance.
Yeah,
I
really.
immediately thought of you when Keith was
Oh my god! I was like,
So-
oh my god!
if this happens, Emma's going to lose her
Oh,
mind.
no.
Yeah, no, I'm sitting here going, no, not Emma.
but we all thought they were gonna do it.
What's even worse, a friend of mine tweeted the day of release of the season, Keith no, in all caps. So I was like, what the hell is wrong with you?
But
So
that's
he
Keith all the time,
Fair.
every season.
That's fair.
It's
But
not new.
he left and I was like, okay, cool, dealing with it. And then as he was going, he was like, they're gonna do it. And then they didn't. It was good. It was a double switch, double turn.
Can you imagine all the Voltron 84 purists? They because a lot of them are already angling for me to be dead. They're like, no, Shiro needs to get out of the way.
Kill him.
So that he can
flags
be his, join his rightful place.
Angling for sure to get out of the way. I just feel like Shiro. I feel like he's a walking time bomb.
Wants him dead. It's just
he just happens to find himself very near death.
Yes, and he does find himself very near death very often.
That at least one Shiro has already died.
Well, and I was going to say, like, on top of that, you do get this really interesting dynamic of the back and forth of who is leading Voltron. Because, like, for me, even going into it, because at the beginning of season 3, I was like, okay, so now we're going to all end up in the 84 Lions. But there was a part of me that for sure first wanted Elora to be able to pilot the Black Lion.
Amen.
Because she already,
first and foremost,
she already has been a leader of this team, even not actually being a paladin.
Yes.
And then also wanted her to be able to pilot the Red Lion because it was the one that her dad piloted.
Right.
The scene where she couldn't do it was just like,
I know.
Yeah.
It killed me. I know.
But then, and we should talk about this a little bit. The Heart of Voltron bit.
Mm-hmm.
I just watching Elora this season and watching her. Just let me put my thoughts in order. I'm good at this. It's been a thing of wonder and glory, and I love the magical space princess. But were you expecting this Heart of Voltron moment? Like, where were you expecting these developments to go?
I had no expectations. Because you kind of can't, because we're discovering it as we get the scripts the night before. And so I had the feelings that you have while I'm reading the script before, going, oh my gosh, I get to do this. I get to say this, or, whatever. But I think they just did a great job with, because we kind of knew we had to go this direction, but the way it unfolded and we ended up in what lines we ended up in, I just think it was really, I think it was great. And that moment between Elora and Lance is really, I don't know, I didn't see that coming, and it was really, I think it was really special.
I think that Elora is just, she's such a great character because she's so flawed.
Yeah.
But she's still, I think that's the problem, is that a lot of the time, especially when you are dealing with a property where you have a largely male cast, the women tend to kind of just be like, oh, well, we got a girl on the team.
Yeah. Space fillers.
Yeah.
We have a princess.
Where they're either perfect or they're damsels in distress.
Yeah.
And there's very few in between.
And Elora is super not that.
Well, I think that's just an Altean thing, too. Like, she's a product of good breeding or whatever. I don't know, because she basically... Because her father obviously believed in her before all of this stuff happened.
Of course. Oh, yeah.
She's got the quintessence. Yeah. She's got, she's connected to the lions and stuff. So they're not sexist there.
No, definitely not. Definitely not.
Yeah, so I think that just really helps her just have the confidence to do what she's going to do. So it's not about that. It's just about, can she do it?
Yeah.
Can she save the universe? Can she pilot? Can she, whatever. So I just think the journey's been really exciting, and it's cool to have those fight, like you were saying, all the action in 5 and
her weapons.
The whip. When I saw the whip, that was like, I'm like, come on, I gotta get me a whip. Yeah.
Did you have any other expectations for what her weapon was going to be, or was there something in your mind when you were like, when I kick some butt,
I want
it's gonna be big?
I just knew it would be. I knew. I wasn't expecting a whip.
Yeah.
I really wasn't, but I was happy with the whip.
Yeah.
I think the whip's...
It rocks.
It just rocks.
It's so great. It's so perfect for her.
Yeah, it's giving me mad Soul Calibur vibes for me.
Ivy
was the first thing I thought.
Oh, yeah.
And Elora is huge for me, especially as a person of color, to especially be able to see a lot of my cousins who, get to see this princess who also is flawed, like you said.
Yeah.
But she works through it, and she has a team of people, men and women, boosting her up and being like, no, you can do this. We're here for you. Especially Lance. I was like, oh my God.
Yeah, I know.
But at the same time, I can look at that and go, yeah, now all these little girls and boys can relate to Elora in this way, and it's just really lovely. That's why it always makes me cry every time when Elora's just like trying to figure things out, and then she gets there eventually, whether it's by herself or mice or Lance.
Yeah.
So, because remember that? Yeah.
Yeah.
So
the mice
it was nice. It was something that definitely I will cherish this specific version of Voltron.
Yeah. It's just so huge because she could have been a princess, like in the 84 she could have been that, and people probably still would have loved the show. Yeah. But they just made a conscious decision that I think has such positive.
Yeah.
You know.
And it was super interesting for me also in the beginning, having watched 84 Voltron, and I remember it being a big deal to me that, you know, this male character went to space hospital and was replaced by a woman.
Yes.
Like that was a big deal. And I know that's a big nostalgia thing, and there was a lot of sort of problematic treatment of her as well. Right. But then
that spanking episode.
Oh my God!
Yeah. That was so weird.
That was weird for everyone.
But then to see, you know, this interpretation of Voltron and to have Elora be such a leader and such an independent sort of fighting spirit, even not being a pilot, I kind of was like, you know what? I'd be okay if she never ended up being a pilot. But then when she became one, I was also super excited.
I know. Me too. Yeah. I was excited about that.
I mean, she deserves a giant robot, just like anybody else.
Everyone else.
I know everyone else has got one.
I agree.
And Voltron is her legacy.
Right.
Her dad built it. So
and
finally
she's connected to these lines. That's the other thing that just I always remember, you know, and Lance kind of explains that, you know, why she's the heart of, you know.
Yeah. And just that little the asking for her dad's help right before, just like,
I know.
I had chills.
My heart, I'm dying.
Yeah.
Even
they do such a good job.
Even just the small thing about like the color of her armor, like you know,
I love that detail.
Years ago, it was just girls get pink.
Right.
And not that the color pink is a bad color, but just the fact that the reasoning for it is like it is the color to honor fallen warriors on my planet. I was like, that's awesome.
I
wonder what it's called in Altan, because she said we wear this color. She didn't say we wear.
Yeah, she didn't say pink.
Yeah. Lightish red.
Yeah, that's true.
It was like Superman. It's like, why you got a big S? What is an S? So and I drew that parallel as well, where Elora is her version of Superman. Is the Altean version of Superman, where she's one of the last remnants of a species.
Oh yeah.
Does that make her and Crypto?
Deep.
Yes, Crypto, the super dog.
Canon. That's now canon.
Yeah, I'm down with that.
Yeah, but I mean, it was interesting too to see this season to have like Shiro really come back and be part of the team, because in the last season, you know, he came back, but he couldn't pilot the Lion.
Yeah.
And then to see him like
do it.
reconnect with it this season was another like very sort of like heartbreaking moment of like Keith is off being like, no, I gotta do this Blade more.
Yeah.
I'm not like your last ex, I promise.
I know. And then and that moment of Shiro just like totally breaking down was another just like very heartfelt moment. There was a lot of like really heartfelt moments.
There was a lot of leave me here to die in this season.
Yeah.
Just like, I'm dying.
Yeah.
What do you guys think is your most emotional performance of the series so far?
On the series?
Yeah.
You want to go first?
Do you want us to chat a little bit while you think?
I'll think about it.
All right. We'll give you a little ponder time.
Well, I can just go first because it's obviously Elora. It's everything with her dad.
Oh my God!
And then,
in the Event Horizon episode.
Yeah. I think when she knew that she couldn't ever see him again, all the memories, and because to save the ship, for me, that was a tough choice to make, but she didn't really hesitate.
No, she knew she had to do it.
She knew she had to do it. So that way I felt that was really, why did they have to do that? Why did they have to?
And they made her do it with her bare hands.
I know.
She hugged it
had
to death.
do. Yes, exactly.
But that was the episode for me that I was like, this is the moment where I know that Elora is the strongest person on this group.
Oh,
because
yeah.
She had to do that on her own.
Right.
No help.
Just that was. I was just thinking. I just did the update for my iPhone, and I lost all my text messages, and I was like, oh my God! And I was just thinking, Elora lost like, and she was fine. She was like, okay, I got to do this, and I'm like, I'm still broken up about it.
And then her dad was kind of texting her gibberish and weird messages and the occasional half-formed creepypasta.
Yeah, exactly.
I'd be okay losing most text messages from my dad.
Right, exactly.
Hashtag first world Altean problem.
My dad rarely texts, so I have like 10 from him ever.
Oh my God.
One of them was, I figured out how to text. I love you, Dad.
That's a great text.
He's never going to see this.
That's hilarious. And what about you?
I'd say for Shiro, one would be the episode where they have Sendak in the ship. And really,
Event Horizon.
Where you really see his PTSD kind of come out.
Same episode,
Oh yeah.
Like in a weird way, I almost feel like the big bad for Shiro isn't even Zarkon, it's Sendak. Because Sendak so far is really the one that's gotten into his head the most.
I know.
Yeah.
Like Zarkon is this impending threat, but who really kind of showed him what he was scared of in terms of, and made it very real to him? It's Sendak.
It was
I'm waiting
personal
for
with
Sendak to
Sendak.
come back.
Like who
honestly.
did he like launch out of the freaking ship? Launched him out of the ship. That was like possibly one of the only leads that they had on how to find whoever they were going to find. And he
Most
like just
definitely gonna Wrath
knocked him out of the ship.
Con his way back into the show.
So
Oh
then
yeah, no,
there's-
no body, no death. He'll be back.
Oh, Sendak, super alive. Super alive.
Well, let's hope.
Yeah.
Oh,
But
yeah.
well, no, actually, let's not hope.
I know.
There's that. and
Very,
then-
very
did
good
you find
questions
the-
in the
okay.
hashtag. So, at AltMatt, whose avatar is in fact a picture of Matt, maybe Shiro's in it too. I want to know, what are your theories as to why Matt has a bounty? I thought about that
He
too.
was broken out of a Galra jail, and he's a known part of the Rebel Alliance. I would
Yeah.
imagine that everyone in there has a bounty on
I
their
like to
heads.
think that Matt had like some space
Special.
pirate times.
Yeah.
He hit the wrong person in the face with a stick.
Yeah. Yeah.
I have a really good question also from the hashtag. It's from our friends, the Something Something podcast.
Oh my gosh.
Awesome.
Wow.
Oh, are you showing them the fan art?
Yep.
Yes,
It's
the art's
very cute.
beautiful.
Amazing.
Since Zarkon has a connection to the Black Lion, any thoughts we might see one with Lotor in season 5?
Here's my weird theory.
I thought of that. I was like,
See
oh,
what?
See
See
what
what with?
Lotor?
Oh, Lotor
See him
has
have
connection.
a relationship with the Black Lion.
Oh,
Black
see.
Lion.
But here's my weird
Because of his
theory
dad.
for that fun little thing. We still had
Jumped on
a
it.
third of the. Oh,
I was gonna say you go ahead, but I have a thing to add.
Okay, go for it.
we still have a third of that comet left. I'm not sure what ship it was put in, but Lotor was ordering it to be.
Dragon Zord?
I
Voltron?
kind of was going there, like White Lion or something like that.
No, I wasn't. That's what I hope is gonna happen now.
That is like the wild. That
Oh my
predicates
God,
on them
that'd be
still
so
having part of that and
Low-Tommy.
actually accepting
Low
Lotor
Tommy.
and building another line
what
and
you're
it
gonna
being
call it?
accepted
Low
to
Tommy.
Voltron.
Low Tommy, I love
Like,
it.
yeah, no, I'm kind of in like White Lion territory here.
Oh my! I was gonna say.
Sorry, we're all
Low
shouting
Tom.
over. Low Tommy.
Low Tommy.
Okay, but my
He
thing
was evil
was
at first. Yeah.
in regards to the Black Lion. We've already seen that there's no hereditary sort of connection with the lions because Elora could not connect with the Red Lion.
It's
This is
true.
true.
It's true.
Good point.
I just think they're gonna build him another lion. He's still got that comet.
Listen, I'm down. I know. Look, I'm ready
Again,
for it.
I think the purple fedora addition to Voltron that fan artists have been doing. I think
Malign.
that's just positivity.
Marodius.
Malign.
I want it. I want it so bad.
Oh my
Don't
gosh.
bring the dumpster fire with you.
But and
That's gonna be the symbol on the fedora.
and
Have
speaking.
they actually drawn a purple fedora on Voltron?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my
Yes, they sure
How
have.
did I miss this?
It
Tweet
was
me,
smashing too.
tweet me this, you guys. I have somehow missed it.
Also,
right.
speaking of our friend Lotor, this comes to us on Twitter from at Mary_Lou Ventura. Where will Lotor be comfortable living in the Castle of Lions? Because he's clearly moving in.
The brain.
Oh.
I'm just sticking
They're
with
just gonna
Carlton
put him in
Ecker.
a Sendak.
Yeah. He's out with the cow.
Ecker.
Yeah.
This will be
In the
your
area. This was,
They're just gonna put him in a Sendak
Right.
pod and leave him there until they need him
Oh,
again.
God.
That's it. That's all
I imagine it'll be.
Carlton Ecker.
Hey, I'll make the references every dang episode. It'll be something like Zuko's first episode with the gang, where it's just like, I want to try to fit in, and they'll be like, you're downstairs.
Another question. This one is specifically for Kimberly. This is from at Baxa. Sorry if I'm pronouncing that wrong on Twitter. Kimberly, what are your thoughts on Lotor and Elora having possibly known each other in their childhood?
Ooh.
Gross.
Yeah.
When did Lotor occur?
I
don't get the
How is
feeling they
Lotor
were
formed?
hanging out. They didn't have this. They weren't in the same circle. I feel like Lotor was maybe off at boarding school. I don't know. Something. He's just, I don't know.
Yeah, he's never really been accepted by his family.
No, not at all. No. He's always.
Shut him off.
Robert at Cooperette in chat says season 4 was just build up to Lotor asking Voltron if he can crash on their couch.
I love
But
that.
this
He just wants to hang out,
I
be
just think he's
friends.
gonna be put with Colton Edgar, just
He's
out in that field, just
guys,
hanging out.
It's
This
comfy.
is where I get back to that
Milkshake.
phrase that people have laughed at me for, but I'm sticking by it. Nobody's dumb enough to trust Starscream.
No.
He's a hell of a lot smarter than Starscream, but he is still our Starscream. He has
I
played
disagree
both sides.
wholeheartedly.
I said he's a lot smarter. Come on.
I think she was
He's
disagreeing
played
that
both-
people know better than to trust Starscream.
Depends on the show.
Okay, but smart people, and we do have smart people.
Somewhere.
So,
Yeah, I'm like,
where?
There's one right here.
Yeah.
Point being, no one is dumb enough to just immediately trust Lotor because he showed up and helped them and needs a couch to crash on. Like, no one's gonna be like, sure, welcome to our castle. Here is our power crystal, and here is our cow. Like,
Yeah.
no.
Come with us.
I love how the cow was
can't
the
play
last in that series.
Yeah.
I know.
Well, that's where he's
like-
going to be staying.
Yeah.
It's
So.
like
Here's
Arson
our
Murder and
castle, here's our
jaywalking. You
cow.
kind of
I mean,
trail off a little.
listen, Space Dad says he has to stay outside with the cow, so that's happening now.
Don't touch the cow.
He
If
can
you're gonna
occasionally-
live here, you're gonna do all of our farm
He can come in
chores.
for some green food goo occasionally.
Well, that actually, I think that Hunk will be the first person to like sort of be like, "Hey,
Like,
we're gonna give you something decent to
extend
eat."
the olive
yeah,
branch.
Yeah.
sort of a thing.
Like,
It's
put
like,
him on
Through
milkshake
food.
duty.
yeah, through
Through
food.
food.
It's like, we should feed him. Like, come on.
We should show him where milkshakes come from.
Yeah, we should. And
Then
that's
again,
when
Hunk's always the person who's like, I don't trust these guys.
true.
Yeah.
But
I don't trust these guys.
but that's when Elora and Corinne will go, give him a milkshake,
blow his
And
mind.
then show him where they come from.
and then introduce him to his
And then
roommate.
take
you know where that milkshake came from.
from Lance.
It's gonna
Lock
be
the door.
Definitely. I'm very interested to see where things go with Lotor from
Agreed.
here.
Same.
I
For
mean,
sure.
maybe he is just looking for some friends. His friends literally shot him in the back.
It's true.
Yeah, but
literally,
he wasn't very nice to one of his friends.
Nah.
He doesn't
Shot
know
one
how
in
to
the
be
face.
a good
Yep.
friend.
Let
I
the cat
think.
abandoned. I'm not.
He
doing
keeps
that.
them on a need to know basis, but has also kind of decided that nobody needs to know anything
yeah.
until the moment of. And that's great when you're in an improv troupe, and it's terrible when you're running a military.
Exactly.
So,
And now I just see
Doesn't
Lothar
count.
going, yes, and.
And I need a suggestion from the
I need a
audience.
suggestion from the paladin.
We're gonna make a machine.
It'll look like legs.
This is a hammer. I have a hammer.
And I'm a leg.
Hey! And it's going to open to another universe.
See, now if you wanted team building paladin exercises, improv.
Yeah.
Oh, that would
Yes,
and.
Melchimes, and then yes hand.
That was kind of the Voltron show. I mean,
Yeah.
Yeah.
They got what, 2 minutes to rehearse before each show? So yeah, I'm sure a little bit of improv was needed.
Yeah.
yeah. That hand joke though.
Solid.
I loved it. It's perfect for me.
Oh, just now put on this tight shirt and go back out there. Well, you're not wrong.
I would say everyone was like, I mean, he was wearing a tight shirt, but a lot of people in the chat last week were like, we didn't see Shiro in the tight shirt. like tighter than the one he wears.
He's always got the
They
tight
probably want to
shirt.
see the abs through the
I
shirt.
gotcha.
Chat
That-
wants body paint.
Budget.
Yeah,
Sorry.
that's a lot
We
of
had to cut abs
animation
for
you're gonna
budget.
put on. There's a lot.
A lot of animation.
No time for these storyboards. It's happening.
Oh my god. So, Chad, if there's anything we missed, now's the time to throw it in because we have a couple minute delay.
Who's Chad?
Chad. Everybody in the chat is
Chad,
named
our
Chad.
live studio audience.
Chad 1,
Chad.
Chad 2,
Yeah,
Chad
that's
3.
why it's the
Got it.
Chad room.
Oh,
it's
it's
the
the
Chad
Chad
room.
We've got
They're actually all just Shiro clones.
Oh, very nice.
Yeah.
Very nice.
Named Chad. I love
Damn
it.
solid.
So what am I asking myself here?
Is there anything we've missed? Is there anything that you guys want to talk about that was behind the scenes? That any fun stories? Any?
Let me see. Weren't you a Bebo as well?
Oh yeah, I believe I was a
Yeah, I think
Bebo.
it was me
Yeah, I
and
was a
Jeremy
Bebo.
And you. You were the Bebos.
Yeah, I think I did something. Yeah.
What else was fun this time around?
Uh,
It's weird because we record all these so long ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That by the
It all
time
blends
they
together.
air and then by the time we come on and do an interview about them, it's like it's
It was
our
like a
heads,
year and
it's
a
ancient
half
history.
ago, right?
Like the thing that's fresh in our heads would be like ADR for something more recent, but
Yeah.
it's,
Well, what's the reaction been? You've been to various conventions between seasons 3 and season 4 and all throughout. What's it been like getting out amongst the Voltron Coalition and seeing all of the cosplayers and everything? How has that been.
I have to say that the cosplayers are unreal in how fast they're able to put together like these totally accurate cosplays.
Right.
I saw somebody tweeted at me. It was a picture of all the Galra generals.
I saw one today
so
myself.
I saw that one too.
That's
That
my
was
friend
great.
Arcady is one of them. She was the Aksha.
Yeah.
She
so awesome.
put that together in a week.
Oh my God,
Yeah.
that was amazing.
I couldn't believe it. Yeah.
So there
She
you
looks
go.
amazing.
There
They
you
all
go.
do.
At the Ultranite in the hashtag, we just talked about all of the female Galra. But I mean, it was saying,
yeah.
I think it was interesting because we hadn't really seen any until seasons 3 and 4, and now we're like, oh, there actually are
Yeah.
quite
so
a lot of them.
many.
Yeah,
I know.
It makes me really happy and also really sad.
I
Harris
know.
also gave a shout out on.
No, they're not all dead. We had a whole bunch of.
Oh yeah, there were some introduced, and like I think I literally turned
To
you
me.
because we were watching it together, and I was like, can I just say I love how many women side characters there are in this show right
I
now.
know.
All the
Man,
pilots
too.
and generals and so cool.
I completely agree. I was blown away because actually I remember recording it and not realizing at one point that seeing the names that they were female.
Yeah.
Because they don't make reference to their gender
At all.
It's not addressed.
It's not addressed. And it's even in the scripts. It's just and then when I finally saw it in ADR, I was like,
Yeah.
they're awesome chicks.
Yeah.
I thought you said it's not a dress. I'm like, well, that too.
Well, no, they're in battle gear.
Yes, they're not in
like
dresses.
battle
It would be a little
skirts.
weird if they were in dresses.
Yeah.
Hello,
And
battle
fabulous.
dress.
Battle dress, that's true.
They would have to be
Laura's-
combat.
Combat skirts.
But I also like that they're like you said, like they're generals or pilots or things like that. Like I love that they're not just like in the background. They're actually in command.
No, well,
Yeah.
and I think Kimberly, you bring up a good point of it. They just had names, at the
Right.
start. They didn't say if they were
didn't
men or
not
women,
at
and
all.
they just made a bunch of them women.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's that easy.
Yeah.
Put women in your works of fiction. Just put them in there.
Yeah.
Right.
Wow.
Do it.
Whoa,
I
look,
mean,
they did it.
Yeah.
Wow.
And I
Yeah.
also like that with Lotor too. Like his entire crew was ladies.
All women. Yeah,
I know.
really
I
enjoyed
think that's
that.
such a cool turn to make on what it was in '84, where he just kind of had like this harem.
Yeah.
Now they're all badass, and now
Yeah.
they're all helping him
They
do his
turned
thing.
what was like a very sexist thing into like something where
Empowering.
yeah,
Yeah.
it was
I have
really
picked
cool.
all the competent ones. Who cares if they're women or not pure Galra or whatever?
Right.
Yes.
They're competent. We're doing this.
Right.
Yeah, and also like again, you get the sense that he had also been like cast aside, and they were looked down on not for being women, but for being for having
Half-breeds.
Half-breeds.
exactly. So that's like something that he has in common with all of his generals, which is really cool.
Yeah. They're not sexist, but they're spacists, right?
Yeah.
Correct.
Space racist.
Space racist.
Space
We're getting
racist.
told to move on. So,
Everyone's
is there
racist.
anything else you'd like to say to the fans? Anything you want them to know? Any?
Just I don't know. The fandom's incredible, and like Josh was saying, I've been doing a few conventions, and I met so many awesome people, and the cosplay's been incredible. I totally agree with you. I've been blown away by it. So, thank you. That's all I wanted to say.
Yeah, no, thank you for enjoying and loving the show with us. Thank you for being a part of the fandom. Thank you for being a part of Voltron. I mean,
Yeah.
we wouldn't be doing all these episodes and putting this out if people weren't watching it.
Right.
And so we owe it a lot to you.
Definitely. Ditto.
Do you have any other projects you're working on that you can tell us about?
I'm working on the new Spider-Man show as Norman Osborn.
Oh, cool.
I've lived long enough to see myself become the villain. And I'm also on DC Girls as the Flash and Green Lantern.
Oh my God, I'm working on that show too. I didn't even know.
Love it.
Bumblebee, and that's so funny. And obviously Steven Universe.
I know.
Yes.
Pretty cool.
That's coming back on the 10th. The episodes are going to be in the app only, evidently, but it's coming back.
Oh, I didn't
Whatever.
know that.
I got the
Yeah,
app.
they just announced it like
Okay.
today.
I'm ready.
Okay, that's awesome.
I'm so ready for more Steven Universe.
Been ready since
It's
June.
time.
The last season was just so freaking. The last sort of like drop of episodes,
Yeah.
which is
It
so
feels like it's
so
been
good.
years. I mean,
Yep.
it literally feels like it's been years.
But that's
Yeah.
another show.
That's a
yeah.
whole other ball game.
In the meantime, Mark, you got one more thing to
I
say?
do. In case you missed it, if you go to loot.cr/AfterBuzz, that's where you can get 10% off of the Unite 2.0 crate, with features a Voltron Legendary Defender shirt. It's an exclusive design that you can only get in this crate, so make sure to head to loot.cr/AfterBuzz, and just in case, use the code AFTERBUZZ, which is AFTERBUZZ, for 10% off. Get that, it's great. And follow me on Twitter at MarkBDonica.
Do the thing, buy the stuff. It's wonderful. Thank you guys so much for joining us.
Thank you.
It's
It was
been
really
great.
fun. That was
Where
really
can
great.
people go if they'd like to follow you?
Oh God, why do you ask me that? I'm so bad at social media.
We're helping her out though.
Yes.
Yeah.
Thank
Me and Bex are getting her up to speed.
Thank you. I'm really bad at. I'm sorry. I'm like Kimberly D. Brooks.
There's a lower third.
Yeah,
They got
it's
it.
okay.
Yeah.
It's there. It's there.
Yeah.
And
You're very, very smart people. You'll figure it out. I don't know.
Don't worry, they'll find you.
They'll find me. Find me.
I'm on Twitter as Josh Keaton, and I'm on Instagram as Space Padre.
Cool,
Beautiful.
cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's Mark Donica again.
Still.
I didn't understand the
Still
cue.
Mark.
I thought we were done.
We are. Megan.
You guys can follow me on Twitter and Instagram at themenguin. That's TheMenguin. I'm also on a bunch of shows here at AfterBuzz. I write articles for the Movie Chicken. I do the voice of Margot Lane on the Shadow Radio Recreation.
Take a breath next time. Take a breath next
Be
time.
sure to check those out.
Yeah.
Breathe.
I'm at Emma Fyffe. Can be found all over the internet, wherever Emma Fyffes are sold, at my name, Emma Fyffe. If you guys are fans of anime, I do an anime talk show called Hyper Otaku at 9:30 p.m. Pacific time on Tuesday nights over at Hyper RPG. That is a Twitch channel, so it's twitch.tv/HyperRPG. We just put out a poll on Hyper RPG's Twitter, which is at Hyper_RPG, asking which new fall series should we include in our continuing series reviews. So go on there. Vote, let us know. So far, Ancient Magus Bride is sweeping the polls. So if you have a different opinion, go ahead and share it. And then at 9:00 p.m. on Friday nights, I do a Star Wars RPG. It is called Pencils and Parsecs. That is also at Hyper RPG, so be sure to check that out.
And I'm Alexis Torres after all that. And you guys can find me all over the internet at atorres890. I'm also doing a bunch of after shows here on AfterBuzz TV. I'm also doing Robots in Disguise with these two lovely ladies, so definitely tune in for that for tomorrow for the Halloween episode. And then Lethal Weapon is canceled because World Series, but we'll definitely be back next Tuesday, hopefully, to do the rest
I
of
don't
that
know. We might just
season
play
as well.
baseball.
I mean,
Yeah, that is what happens.
And then join me on Sunday nights for Supernatural because I need you guys. I need somebody to help me through these 13 seasons of Supernatural. Help me.
Terrifying.
All
Wow.
of them.
Yeah, all of them.
And I'm Katie Cullen. You can follow me all over the social medias as well as on Twitch and YouTube at Kiaxet. That is KIAXET. Z Nation on Mondays. We are moving Star Wars Rebels eventually, so keep an eye out for that. It might take over this slot. Robots in Disguise, the last 3 episodes are these next 3 weeks, you guys. We are hitting season finale, and we have a special guest tomorrow. Tune in for that. And as always, Ruby on Wednesdays, and that is super fun. Thank you guys again for coming in. It has been a blast. Thank you guys so much for watching. We'll see you for season 5.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Bebo, Bebo, B.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.